Good afternoon, I'm Bali Dlamini. President Cyril Ramaphosa has expressed confidence in the ability of the military to restore peace in gang-riddled areas. Ramaphosa says the soldiers will be deployed to parts of Gauteng and the Western Cape with the mandate of protecting the peace. The assurance follows an announcement at the State of the Nation address last night to deploy the SANDF to the two provinces to help in the fight against gang violence. This morning, Ramaphosa hosted the annual Presidential Golf Challenge in Cape Town, where he touched on the military deployment. Babalondenze reports.
President Cyril Ramaphosa said in his SONA speech last night that he's directed the police minister and the defense force to develop a tactical plan on where security forces should be deployed within the next few days in the Western Cape and Gauteng. He said this was to deal with gang violence and illegal mining in the two provinces. Today, Ramaphosa defended the plan, saying similar deployments have worked in the past.
You must know that the soldiers are not police people. Soldiers are trained to kill and to defend the people of South Africa. And in this case, they'll be defending the peace.
Ramaphosa says the plan by the Defence Force and police will include the costs for the deployment before informing Parliament. Babalondenze, Eyewitness News, Cape Town.
Lucanio Calata says the families of those killed during apartheid continue to feel let down by the justice system. Calata, the son of late anti-apartheid activist Fort Calata, is testifying at the Gampepe Commission of Inquiry in Pretoria today. The inquiry was established by the president to probe delays in the prosecution of TRC-related cases. It's been 23 years since the Truth and Reconciliation Commission wrapped up its work referring cases to the NPA for prosecution, but almost none of those cases have made it to a courtroom. Lucanio Calata is testifying today on behalf of the families of the Cradock Four who were murdered by the apartheid-era security branch in 1985. He says growing up without his father was difficult.
It's very difficult for me to be able to explain what it means to be raised in a house by a single mother, knowing that my father was not there. Not because he didn't want us, not because he didn't love us, but because someone had decided that my father had to be killed.
The Gauteng Education Department has assured the family of a grade R learner who died after being injured at school that the probe into the incident will be prioritized. MEC Matume Chelwane made the commitment during a visit to the family in Soweto this morning. Manqoba Mnisi, a learner at Bernard Isaacs Primary School in Coronationville, died at that school last week. His mother claims that her son was allegedly locked inside a classroom before becoming trapped in a window. Mnisi died from his injuries after being rushed to the hospital. The department has roped in a law firm now to probe the circumstances surrounding the death of the 5-year-old. Spokesperson Steve Mabona.
The purpose of this law firm is to investigate the circumstances surrounding this incident, just to get full facts around this said incident. The law firm will be formally introduced by the MEC on Tuesday, the 17th of February 2026.
Some members of the Muslim community fear water outages may persist well into their fasting period. Residents in parts of Johannesburg South protested yesterday over a 4-day stretch with dry taps. They are worried that Ramadan may begin next week and water will not have been restored. Ramadan is the fasting period from sunrise to sunset for members of the Muslim community and is set to begin on the 17th of February and end on the 19th of March. Humna Hafaji says government is already denying them the right to water, but if they are still without supply, it would be a denial to practice their religion.
My main concern is that Ramadan is coming up in the next 7 days. We as Muslims, it is the most spiritual month for us. We wait every single year for this special occasions month. But now, without us having water, how do we purify ourselves? How do we pray? How do we break our fast?
And the University of South Carolina has cancelled classes following a shooting at one of its residential complexes. It's understood the university was put on lockdown last night following a report of the shooting. Details of the shooting remain sketchy at the moment, with officials still mum on whether anyone has been taken into custody or not. The university had 2 shootings on its campus in October last year, including one at the same student housing complex. Gold is trading at $4,975.74 an ounce. The rand is at 16.01 to the dollar, 21.82 to the pound, 19.02 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $67.52 a barrel.
Well, in Edenvale, heading towards Bedford View, can still expect about a 30-minute delay. This is on the N3 northbound between Linksfield Road and Modderfontein Road due to an earlier accident. While if you're in Diersdorp, Pretoria, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic approaching the intersection of Sifako-Mahato Drive and Moloto Road due to faulty traffic lights. We still have traffic lights not working in Polshof, at Witkoppen and Main Road.
It's a partly cloudy Friday in Gauteng with showers and thundershowers expected. Temperatures have peaked at highs of between 26 and 28 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, President Cyril Ramaphosa has expressed confidence in the ability of the military to restore peace in gang-riddled areas.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Calling all the brightest minds in Gauteng. Time to flex your general knowledge smarts in the brain of 702. Enter now on primemediaplus.com. T's and C's apply.
Celebrating the power of radio.
How far it's come and the voices that bring us together.
World Radio Day on 702.
You're with Relebogile Mabotja
Live, streaming countrywide
on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM.
Eight minutes after 1 o'clock. Welcome to 702 Afternoons with me, Relebogile Mabotja. Happy Friday! Oh, guys, I'm so relieved. This week of all weeks, I've been waiting for Friday, even though it's Friday the 13th. And I don't know if you're a superstitious person. Please send a WhatsApp if there's something we're not supposed to be doing because it's Friday the 13th, right? And we know about the horror movies. But tell us what it is in your culture you believe about Friday the 13th. But it isn't just Friday the 13th. Everybody is wearing red at work for Valentine's Day, the day of love. Just let me know, are you celebrating or are you not? Some people say, no, I'm not celebrating it. Meanwhile, you're secretly hoping your man is going to bring flowers so you don't say anything so that you're not hurt. Oh, guys, complications, but also it is World Radio Day. And my colleagues have been chatting all day about World Radio Day. I heard bits of Clement Mangatela and Mandy Wiener. What I'm going to say for World Radio Day is not the theme or not even about the station. It's just to say thank you to all of you. I think sometimes it is easy to forget. Radio is made by the people who listen and contribute and engage. Everything from our topics to the questions that you ask of our guest experts. World Radio Day is truly, for me, for the listeners and the communities. And I'm grateful that as 702 and as 702 family, we truly go all out for our teams. I mean, Ntate David Sejobe, the late now, that is the perfect story of radio and how many of you came through for that phenomenal security guard who we will never ever forget. It truly is because of all of you. Coming up on the show, as we do on a Friday, our food feature. We are chatting Whispers of Diriyah, which is at the Park Hyatt in Johannesburg. And I'm so looking forward to chat to you about what felt like a recreation of some kind of Arabian Nights and cuisine. All 3 meals were included of the day, and we will share that with you with the executive chef and general manager. Unplugged on 702 afternoons, we're going to be joined by Khuzani. Guys, if you're a Maskandi fan, this is going to be for you live in studio. But also if you're like, Maskandi, what is that? Traditional Zulu music, but you have to tune in because obviously they are different kinds. But all I can tell you is it's all about guitars and movement and great energy. Then we wrap up my favorite feature, The Upside of Failure. We'll be joined by award-winning South African actor Warren Masemula. Get your questions in early and get in touch with us. 011 883 0702. SMS us 31702. Tweet at Relebogile M at Radio 702 using the hashtag 702 Afternoons and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702.
702.
Food feature.
Food feature time. And today we have taken an interesting journey to what I would describe as the perfect Arabian night, except it was 10 minutes of a full Arabian day where we had breakfast, lunch, and supper. And if you think you're familiar with the cuisine, if you have never truly experienced it, I tried to do this looks like and this seems like, but it really is nothing like any of those other things. But we are chatting Whispers of Diriyah, which is at the Park Hyatt, Johannesburg. We're joined by Chef Isra Hussein, who is executive chef at the restaurant, as well as Atef Soliman, who is the general manager. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
If you could just come much, much closer to your microphone. There we go. There we go. I have to first say to all of the listeners, you know, we have a boardroom where we have our food feature happen. And the restaurants are doing the most when they come here because they continue to remind us, and hence I have to share this with all of you, that food is an entire experience. It is not just the taste. So I was given a full experience from the moment I walked into the boardroom with traditional coffee. Funny enough, I was desperate for coffee, and it's like they knew. And I was complaining to the team that like, my energies are so low. But I got a coffee and I got a date. And then I will tell you all about what happened afterwards, but I need to share this with you to encourage you all to go to our social media so that you can not just see the pictures, but also see the videos of the efforts that everybody that comes through goes to just ensure we get a full experience. And just so you know, it's not easy for chefs being out of their kitchens where they now have to reheat food. It's a nightmare. I appreciate you so much. I'm going to start with you, chef. How did you get into food? And like, where did it all start for you outside of, being in the kitchen at home?
I think it always started at home. Like, it was always a hobby for me, like being a little chef at home in the kitchen. And then when I went to high school, I took hospitality as a subject. So my passion really grew from there. And then I realized, okay, maybe being a chef could be a career for me. And that just pushed me forward into the right direction.
So talk to me about your heritage and culture that influenced how you cook, because we've had different types of chefs in studio, and I remember the one time we had a black Zulu man from KZN who was trained in like traditional Japanese cuisine. Then you get those that just grew up in an Italian kitchen and that's all they know. So chat to us about your heritage and culture and your journey in terms of the kind of food you started learning to cook.
Of course. So I studied fine dining French cuisine. However, I grew up in a Muslim home. So I think that's where most of my culture kind of stems from. So that's the kind of food I grew up with. So cooking Saudi food is very familiar for me. And it's just a mix of everything. Cooking South African at the Park Hyatt, cooking Saudi as well, and then just Indian food at home as well. So it all just kind of connects and just, I think, makes me who I am.
Did the part of growing up in a Muslim home contribute? I mean, especially when you have to prepare for Ramadan, someone like myself who did not grow up doing that. Though I've been in homes when people were fasting and they're like, we ain't eating. And I was like, oh, this is how it goes. Did it make it easier for you or did it make it harder for you? Because if you're fasting, you now are in a kitchen with food.
Yeah. No, it has been very difficult sometimes. But however, my team is always there to help me. So they're always there tasting for me, having my back. But it can be very difficult. I mean, the temptation is real. So
Yes.
yeah. So you're always
Yes.
looking at the food thinking, oh, I'm so hungry now. But you get through the day. Your team helps you. And that's how you get through it.
From your side, Atif, as general manager, maybe chat to us about the background of Whispers of Diriyah. One of the things I love about our country is it's almost like when it comes to cuisine, any style, genre, culture is welcome. You can find Ethiopian, you can find pretty much anything in South Africa. But why was this the direction that was decided for the Park Hyatt?
First of all, thank you for having us here. It's lovely to be here with you guys. So, Whisper of Diriyah. So, Diriyah, the background of Diriyah, it came from Saudi. So, it is the first city in Saudi it has been established in the 18th century. That was a place where people actually used to meet and connect and the storytelling. So, nowadays, if you go there to that place, it's actually a blend between the past and the future. It has been redeveloped, but it's still that mud architecture bricks is still there. So you see the past and the future. So what we did now, so if you go to Park Hyatt, imagine you are in a place where from floor to ceiling, it's Najdi fabrics, while the wood burning, the music and ritual and the sound, even the bukhur, we have the bukhur is burning all of the time, so it takes you to a moment like you actually in the city of Diriyah in Saudi.
Is bukhur like incense?
Yeah, it's a scent. It's a very special smell. You burn it and it is scent.
So when it comes to, obviously, I mean, it makes sense, Whispers, and the name just based on the city. How was it decided, based on South Africans? Like, how did you know that South Africans would even be open to a cuisine which is kind of similar but isn't the same as the others? Because somebody might look at it and think, oh, this is going to be so nice and hot and spicy, but it isn't.
Look, before we started even, we had to do our study. We went everywhere. We actually went to the cities there. We spoke to the people here. We did some testing. We actually put the whole culture there. So we found out that the feedback was great, and we knew it was going to work. And there is a huge follower here for that type of culture. The day we start to invite people and to get the feedback, and it was amazing.
Chef, you did the whole traditional French cuisine in terms of training, which is quite the standard of what chefs go through. What did you not learn in cooking school that you had to learn on the job? And I'm not talking about the business aspects, but specifically when it comes to food, because French cuisine is very, very specific.
Yeah, so I think in culinary school, you're taught to follow the recipe, measure everything exactly, learn your methods, learn the theory behind your methods. But what you don't learn is that you must cook from the heart. And you learn that in industry because you learn so many people have so many different palates, so many different opinions. But the only one that matters to you most is yours. So I think just learning to cook from the heart, learning to deal with the pressure, that's just something you have to learn outside of school.
You strike me as somebody who can be rebellious in the kitchen. And by that I mean, when it says 1 teaspoon, the person who's going to be like, I just eyeballed it.
Yes, that's me.
So if you are that type of person, how do you maintain consistency? Because if I go to the restaurant and I like a dish, I'm going to want that when I come back, it's as good or better.
Yeah, so it is about cooking with the heart, and sometimes we do eyeball it. However, I think you get into such a good rhythm that your eyeballing is actually meticulous every single time.
please chat to me about how your relationship with food has evolved over the years, when now food is a business and is about impressing other people versus, just preparing something at home that your family will like.
I think the basis of it is that it will bring people together. So that's kind of what I look into when I'm cooking. It's that it's always, no matter where you're cooking, if it's in your home, if it's in your fine dining kitchen, it's always to bring people together. And it is different in the sense where you have to be more meticulous about everything and plate everything perfectly. However, I think it just makes you a better chef at the end of the day.
In terms of your journey when you left cooking school, where's the first place you worked and what was that like?
So when I was in culinary school, I actually studied in Cape Town. So I worked in a few different restaurants throughout Cape Town for 2 months at a time. And then I did a full year at La Colombe, which is located in Hyatt Bay in Cape Town. It was one of the top 50 restaurants in the world. Yeah, so I was very privileged to work there. And then I came home to Joburg, and then I started working at the Park Hyatt.
And that transition, what would you say you find is unique to each restaurant, which is pretty much going to be the same as any job when you go to another company? Even if you're performing the same roles, they'll do things quite differently. Outside of the cuisine, what did you notice in terms of the differences of how different kitchens operate?
So I think the menu determines the way the kitchen flows and also how the team flows. So I've never worked with the a la carte menu before, and this is my first time doing it. But working with the other chefs, it's you all work together, but you've got your own section in your mind as well.
Okay, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to chat about the menu that was served and also just connected to how some of the dishes relate to Ramadan, what the purpose of those things are. For example, we will also cover dates and why they are such a phenomenal thing to enjoy. 22 minutes after 1 o'clock.
Stand a chance to win a share of a red-hot 3 million rand with the Hollywood Bet Spinner Zonke jackpot race. Enter the chase and enjoy a feast of fun where every spin could unlock riveting rewards. To start your adventure, bet 2 rand or more on selected Habanero games every Wednesday, Friday and Saturday between 8:30 and 10:30 p.m. The racing revolution starts now. Dive in and prepare to take top spot.
T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp HELP to 076 675 0710.
You can become a victim of a legal problem: wrongful arrest, assault, uncontested divorce, rental disputes, maintenance matters, or labor problems. It can happen to you. Clientele Legal provides tough professional lawyers for an affordable monthly premium. Our legal team is standing by to assist you 24 hours a day. Join today. SMS Legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Government has published the draft revised white paper on citizenship, immigration, refugee protection, and now invites the public to submit comments. This policy will shape how immigration, citizenship, and refugee protection are managed in South Africa. Now is your chance to make your voice heard. For more information about the white paper, visit www.dha.gov.za. To submit your comments, email whitepaper@dha.gov.za. Submissions close on 15 February 2026. Have your say. Don't be left behind. Your input matters. Home Affairs, delivering dignity for all.
This message is brought to you by Eskom, redefining for a better future.
Are you running a business? Every rand counts. Save electricity and cut costs by switching off lights, computers, and air cons after hours. Use energy-efficient lighting and equipment and make saving electricity part of your daily routine. Smart energy habits mean lower bills and greener business future. Let's power success efficiently.
Let's use electricity wisely. Eskom.
When the Mahindra Fusion Fest 2026, powered by 702, brings you Z, Focalistic, Dali Wonga, Zoe Mudija, and more. Fashion, art, and music will take center stage. And so can you by playing the daily Mahindra Fusion Fest quiz on 702 for up to 10,000 Rand and 2 tickets to the fest. WhatsApp the keyword Mahindra to 072-702-1702 with your name and ID number. Every day next week from 1 p.m., 702 afternoons with Relebogile Mabotja could call you back. The Mahindra Fusion Fest 2026, powered by 702. TCs and more on primemediaplus.com.
702.
Food feature.
25 minutes after 1 o'clock, we continue with our food feature as we talk about Whispers of Diriyah, which is at the Park Hyatt in Johannesburg. We are chatting to Chef Isra Hussein, executive chef, as well as Atef Suleiman, who is the general manager. Get in touch with us, 011-883-0702, and the WhatsApp line 072-702-1702. Chef, please talk about the experience that you so graciously prepped from the door and everything you explained, and also tell all the listeners why I want to steal your coffee pot.
So when you walk through the door, we greeted you with our Arabic coffee, so traditional Saudi greeting for you, and then we've served that with dates. So our coffee is traditionally very strong and very cardamom forward, so that's why we give you the date, just to bring a bit of sweetness out of it. And then we've offered you our suhoor menu, which is our overnight oats, our iftar menu, which we've given you pita breads and cold meze, as well as our chicken kapsa rice and our jarish. And then we've given you our Tarawih menu, which is our sweet treats, our chocolate bonbons, stuffed dates, and sesame biscuits.
Please explain, because they're not described as breakfast. It's the meal before sunrise. If somebody is listening and is not aware of the fasting that comes with Ramadan, can you help connect the dots?
Yes, of course. So suhoor is the beginning of the fast.
Yes.
So it's the breakfast that you would have just before sunrise, as after that you are not allowed to eat or drink anything for the rest of the day. So people usually have traditional or nourishing foods, just something to keep you going. And then iftar is the breaking of the fast. So that's when you break at sunset. And then tarawih is little snacks that we have after our prayer at night.
Yes. And I mean, I have to just say, if you look at the spread, it looks like there is biryani with grilled chicken, flame grilled chicken on top. It looks like, oh, I walked into a Mediterranean space because of, the metse aspects, which, the baba ganoush and the hummus, which I love that it was textured and not smooth and was a little bit sour. I can't explain, but it reminds me of ding. It just reminds me of sour porridge. And then also there was another dip that you had. What was the one that's made with aubergines?
So it was called mutabal.
Mutabal.
Yes.
Mutabal. I'm going to do my best to memorize this. Okay. Now, explain to us that even though the cuisine looks like it's heavily spiced, it is not overpowering at all. And I usually struggle with spices, but it was still so flavorful. It still felt very traditional. You can tell, even though it looks Mediterranean, it is not used different spices. Chat to us about, from a cuisine perspective, where does that come from that it wasn't chili and all of those things?
So there is a lot of connection with it being like the modern world as well. So that's where the connection comes and why they all look very similar. But it's more mild because during that time, back in the day, in the 1800s in Diriyah, there was also the spice route. So a lot of Arabic flavors come from there.
Oh,
yes. So it's not a lot of chili. It's more cinnamon, cardamom, more like nutty flavors.
I almost feel like every dish had cardamom.
Yes.
Most of them did. Pretty much. And the chicken for me was divine. You can tell that it is properly flame grilled. The food is smoked. It really is delicious. Even the overnight oats with a bit of the saffron in it, it almost felt like, what is the thing that's like syrupy that tastes like it could be honey, but it isn't? Do you soak the dates or something? So that's from, I knew it! I knew it. Why are dates so good for you?
Dates are very good for you, especially when you are fasting. So traditionally, Muslims will break their fast with a date because you're not eating for the whole day. So when you eat a date, it's very like cooling for your stomach. So it's not something that will upset you immediately. It's also very good nutritionally wise for you.
And we're not referring to the fresh dates that just got picked off a tree that I know you can get at like Woolies and places like that. We're talking about the dates that feel like like a dried fruit type of date. And I have to say the food was absolutely divine. And I'm going to encourage all of you to enjoy the culinary journey through Saudi Arabia. And if you want to find or book at Whispers of Diriyah, head over to at Park Hyatt Johannesburg or their website, parkhyattjohannesburg.com, and go and see how wonderful the menu, the service, the experience is. Shout out for that coffee, man. Shout out for that coffee. It's 1:30. Time for your latest Eyewitness News headlines. Good afternoon.
Thanks, Relebogile. A very good afternoon. Tensions are high at the Nelson Mandela University in Gqeberha today, where private security has fired rubber bullets to disperse protesting students. Clashes have been playing out at that institution this week over student funding-related matters. The protest is also